outside, our family looked perfect. Two beautiful kids, a rich dad, and a loving mom. But that was just a facade.
Yep, you guys guessed it. Today I'm going to be writing to share my story. Make sure to subscribe, turn on the notifications if you're new. Let's get started.
In reality, my dad was a cruel jerk who forced me to wear makeup because, according to him, I looked ugly otherwise. I think he enjoyed treating me like garbage because it made him feel powerful and important. To make things worse, he saw my brother as some kind of perfect angel who couldn't do anything wrong. That's why they often teamed up on me. One time, my brother came home with an F on his physics exam and blamed me for it. He said, "My sister was listening to loud music, so I couldn't concentrate and study." I responded, "That's not true at all. You are just making up excuses for being a lazy bum." But my dad took his side and punished me by making me clean my brother's room. Ugh, it was so humiliating. While I picked up his toys from the ground and put them into boxes, he threw other toys onto the ground and said, "Pick it up, sis." The worst part was how helpless I felt because no one came to my defense. I was just a kid after all. I think my mom knew how badly I was treated, but after years of living with my dad, she was too scared to stand up to my dad. One time, I even talked to her in private and said, "Mom, you need to leave Dad. He's a bad person and making you miserable." But my mom started crying and said, "Stop it. You don't understand this." I guess she couldn't admit to herself that she had wasted years of her life being married to an evil jerk. I mean, one day my dad even got arrested. It turned out that he had been dating a chick on the side, but not because he loved her, but because he used her credit card to start his own business. My dad got that poor woman $30,000 in debt without her knowing anything about it. But once she found out, she sued him, and not only did my dad have to pay the money back, he also had to serve a 6-month prison sentence. Those were the best 6 months of my life. Suddenly, it was quiet and peaceful at my home, but when my dad came back, the problem started all over again. On his first day, he accused me of being a bad daughter because I hadn't welcomed him back home. So I screamed, "At least I'm not stealing $30,000 from other people. At least I'm not treating my daughter and wife like garbage." Then I pointed my finger at him and said, "You are a criminal. You exploit other people and don't care if you hurt them. You are absolutely disgusting, and I wish you dropped dead." I wasn't sure how he would react, but then my brother said, "Sister, why don't you tell Dad I had a boyfriend?" I froze. How did my brother know I was in a relationship? Well, that's what my dad had waited for. He started screaming and calling me a whore, saying I had brought shame onto our family for losing my V card at such a young age. I responded, "Yes, I have a boyfriend, but we haven't even kissed each other, so relax." But my dad didn't care and screamed, "Once you're 18, I'm gonna throw you out of this house and onto the streets. I'm ashamed to have you as my daughter." Well, my 18th birthday was still 2 years away.
Uh, uh,
A lock on my door, so I had to send him a WhatsApp message if I needed to go to the bathroom. But I knew the way he treated me wasn't right, so I gathered evidence on my smartphone by recording how he terrorized me. Then, after school, I went to the police and showed them video footage of how I was treated. When they saw that I wasn't allowed to go to the toilet without my dad's permission, they decided to take my dad into custody. And when he got trialed the
wow,
next week, the judge called him a
that is
monster and
sad.
sentenced him to 8 months in prison. It felt so good
Again.
to finally get revenge on my dad. But my mom wasn't happy at all. She said, "How shall we survive without your dad's income?" I responded, "It's not my fault that you married a jerk. Now you have to live with the consequences because I'd rather be poor than live with him for one more day." But we never became poor because my mom broke up with my dad after she found a new boyfriend who treated her with more respect. But it was too late because my brother had already become just like my dad. One time I came home while he was making out with his girlfriend on the kitchen table.
Uh, uh, yeah.
The little girl. And that's when I had enough and bit right into his neck. What happened next is too graphic and violent to show on YouTube, but my brother had to go to the hospital because I had bitten through some important vein, and he almost died of blood loss. The next day I moved out. I had enough of men like my brother and dad. I swore to myself I would never date a guy again. They were all the same anyway. Instead, I went to college and tried to focus on my studies. But as luck had it, my professor gave me a boy as a project partner. His name was David. He was so full of himself. He said, "Okay, I'm gonna lead this project, and you will follow my orders." I wanted to tell him to F off, but he was so confident and smart that I only responded, "Okay." However, he was never satisfied with my work, and he even called me a lazy turtle. But I liked it. The
What?
angrier he got at me, the more I wanted to rip his shirt off and kiss him.
Okay.
Gosh, I'd never been so attracted to a guy,
I
so
hit
I
it on
always
Twitter.
dressed up when we met.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Idiot. When I got home, I immediately found out who his girlfriend was. She had many photos of her and David on Instagram, and they were such a cute couple. I should have felt happy for them, but I was so in love with David that my heart was aching. But one time, his girlfriend came by to give David a folder. And when she saw me wearing a short summer dress and lots of makeup, she immediately knew what I was up to. She said, "So, you are my boyfriend's project partner?" I responded, "Yeah, I am." She leaned over the table and said, "Do you always dress like this?" I blushed, but didn't respond. Then David said, "Don't worry, she always dresses like a hoe." I knew he only wanted to ease the tension, but his girlfriend got angry and said, "Stop defending her. Don't you see that she's trying to seduce you?" David responded, "I know what she's trying to do, but I already told her I'm not interested in dating her because I have a girlfriend." Now I blushed even heavier. This was so embarrassing. His girlfriend said to me, "You tried to seduce my boyfriend even though you know he's in a relationship with me? Shame on you. And David, from now on, you won't meet up with her again." He responded, "I'm sorry, but she is my project partner, so I can't stop working with her." Suddenly she screamed, "If you don't get away from that whore right now, it's over between us." He looked at her and said, "Fine, it's over." I could see how much his ex-girlfriend was hurt, but she didn't respond and just walked away. David said, "I'm sorry, she's always like that." I said, "No, I'm sorry. I'm such a horrible person." Then he looked me in the eyes and said, "Let's stop studying for today and watch a movie at my place instead." Oh my god, I knew I should have said no, but I couldn't resist. I just loved him too much. When we sat down on his couch, he put his arm around me. I'd never had a guy I was attracted to touch me like that. I cuddled myself against his chest and he said, "Oh, my cute little turtle." I think we were about to kiss each other when his smartphone rang. He took it out and said, "It's my ex." He picked up and I heard her say, "I'm sorry about what happened today. With you, I just had a bad day. I hope you can forgive me." But David responded, "No, it's over between us. I'm sick of your endless drama." And then he hung up. Meanwhile, I felt incredibly guilty because I was part of the reason they had split up. That's why I told David, "It's better for me to go home now." Of course, he wanted me to stay, but I left anyway. But when I had reached the door of his building, I saw his ex-girlfriend sitting outside on the stairs crying. I didn't want her to see me, so I went back into David's apartment and spent the night there. It was the first time I slept in a bed with a guy. David tried kissing me, but I told him no. However, the next morning, I woke up with David's arms around me, and it felt so good. I turned around, and when he woke up, he said, "There's my little turtle." And then he gave me a kiss. And yes, we are in a relationship now.
Bonus
My dad says
story.
her mom left us.
I want this story over now.
Supposedly, she said, "I'm out of here," and no one ever saw her
What
again.
in the freak
I don't know if
is
that's a
this?
true story, though. Because my dad always says and believes a lot of weird stuff. I mean, I love and respect him, but last year, he took it to the next level. I just got home from summer camp when he told me that he'd been abducted by aliens. I started to laugh.
Okay, yeah, I'm ending this video here. But
Trouble. I recently found proof that my dad is a real-life cannibal. I'm not joking here. And I'm not sure if I should contact the police or FBI, but I know I have to do something, because my dad needs to be stopped. I should have realized that he was weird when I was a kid. My dad always told me stories about a cannibal tribe in the Brazilian Amazonas. He told those stories with so much detail as if he had experienced it himself. He said they normally only ate deceased people, but sometimes when they thought someone was a sorcerer or a witch, they would make an exception and eat that person alive. To make things worse, he told me they mostly accuse little girls of being witches. He also said that those indigenous Brazilian tribes would go out and try to capture men of other tribes and then do a big feast eating them. Listening to his stories as a kid was scary. But I was young, and I kind of thought my dad's obsession with cannibalism was normal. He also has a bunch of human skulls all over our house, and when I asked him where he got those from, he said he bought them on eBay. But I highly doubt that that's true, because 4 years ago, he changed careers. He went from being a school teacher to becoming a crematorium operator. His new job is all about turning dead corpses into ashes, and it's his duty to treat those bodies with respect. But I suspect that he is taking those bodies apart and secretly eating them. The other weird thing he does is fly to Brazil once a year. My mom told me he has family over there, and I believed her as a kid. But why had I never seen my Brazilian family? And why had I never been invited to visit them? Well, one day I found out the truth. I went through my dad's wardrobe, and at the bottom, I found a hidden box. When I opened it, I saw several sets of human teeth. It was so creepy. And there was one photo showing my dad wearing those teeth around his head, surrounded by some indigenous jungle people. Another photo showed my dad holding a spear in his hand next to some indigenous warriors. It looked like they were about to go hunting. I just hope it wasn't for some other humans. But now I knew where my Amazon to hang out with some cannibalistic, warmongering tribe members. And maybe he went on hunting other humans with them so they could eat them afterward. I hope this was all a big joke, but when I confronted my dad and asked if he had ever eaten human flesh, his response was so creepy. A big grin appeared on his face, and then he asked me, "How do you know, son?" At first, I didn't know how to respond, but once I had gathered myself, I said, "You are a disgusting and evil psychopath." But he responded, No, it's not evil and it's not disgusting. I mean, what's the difference between eating pig, beef, or human? There is no difference. And if a human dies of a natural cause, then it's not evil to eat the corpse, because a dead person doesn't care. So that's why you became a crematory operator? So you can have free lunch at work? I asked him. Ugh, those are old and sick people. That would be disgusting. No, I'm just fascinated by dead bodies. It's really no big deal, he responded. Wow, my dad thinks that being a cannibal is no biggie. I'm honestly scared of him, because I don't know what he is capable of. If he is willing to spend thousands of dollars each year to fly to Brazil just to eat other humans, then he might also be willing to eat my mom or me. One time, he asked me if I wanted to come with him to Brazil. He said it would be a great adventure, and I could finally develop a taste for you know what. He said it's better than anything else he had ever tasted. But why does my dad think that I am even slightly interested in cannibalism? This whole thing is so disturbing. I am seriously considering calling the FBI, but I don't want my dad to go to prison because then my mom would be very lonely. To make things worse, my dad recently bought a huge barbecue grill. I am suspecting the worst, but so far, he has only used it when I wasn't at home, so I have no idea what he's eating on it. To be honest, if someone wants to eat my corpse after I'm dead, I wouldn't mind. And I recently read on the internet that placentas after giving birth. It's so disgusting, but it's one of the hottest trends out there. And even Kim Kardashian says she has eaten her own placenta after giving birth. I guess, as long as you don't hurt others, you can eat whatever you want. Unfortunately, I don't think my dad is following that rule. I assume that he goes to Brazil once a year to hunt for fresh human meat. And 2 weeks ago, he cooked us a nice soup with pork meat inside. Or so I thought. Because 2 days later, he asked me how I liked the soup, and when I told him that it tasted good, I saw this creepy little smirk on his face, which means that I might have already eaten another human without knowing it. Please let me know in the comments what you would do in my situation. Shall I forget about my dad being a cannibal, or shall I contact the FBI? I mean, my dad is currently working
FBI,
as a
open up.
crematory operator, which means that he might be eating your dead grandpa right now. Would you mind him doing that? Thank you for listening to my story, and please subscribe to this channel for more animated stories.
I'm not.
Hey,
Oh, I
my name
want to
is
watch a
Miranda.
bonus story. Well, guys, I'm ending this video right here. If you enjoy it, make sure to like and comment and subscribe. And you already know how to rock by the Legends game.